Sorry, folks, YouTube's a little slow. Mr. Chairman, you have the meeting.
All right, perfect. Thank you, everybody, and welcome to ALCOSAN's board meeting for April 22nd. We will begin with the roll call.
Jack Shea.
Here.
Corey O'Connor.
Here.
Mary Reedshaw. John Weinstein.
Here.
Sylvia Wilson.
Here.
And Dr. G.
Present.
All right, everybody's here. If you can please stand from your locations and join in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of
the United States of America,
To the
the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. We will then start with informational items, public comment. I would like to say for the record that there was an executive session held prior to this meeting. Seeing no public comment, we will go to item B, which is a WWTP expansion cost report, see Exhibit A, and I will pass it off to Kim.
Mr. Chairman, as Kim is queuing up her slide, I would simply point out this is a new feature that the board will be seeing. It's a return to just an update that had been provided previously to the board during our plan expansion program some 14 years ago. Kim?
Caroletta. So this is the debut of our plant expansion construction cost summary. It takes into account all of the projects that will eventually comprise the plant expansion, and the awarded to date, our change orders, and
that was only 3 weeks when I had my first.
Obviously the projected contract value. So interestingly, on this pie chart, this 63% is the value of the contracts not yet awarded. Later on the agenda, you'll see the East Headworks project. So this, even by the time you see this report again, it'll change pretty substantially. But a lot of these are, probably half of these are in design, and the rest are kind of on the horizon. So you'll see this report for probably the next 8 years. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. And if you wanted any enhancements to the report, I'd be happy to take that feedback.
Thank you. Seeing no questions, board members, I would say get used to looking at that in the future. We will now go to item C. This is a GROW grant update from Tim. GROW grants are going very well. I know myself and Doctor are on the committee there, and we just want to encourage any municipality that's watching this right now, please apply. These go a long way in your community, and we really appreciate those that have applied and that are spreading the word about this great program. So Tim, I'll pass it to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Quick question, can everyone see my screen?
Yes. Yes.
Perfect. Want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to share with you the update to the GROW program. We're going to have some discussion items in this presentation. I'll provide you with a financial update, provide you with a status of where the program is right now, some lessons learned, and then what we're doing moving forward with the GROW program. In the financial update, I want to say thank you to our Finance and Administration Division for providing me with the latest and greatest numbers to provide this update. So far, we are 5 cycles into the GROW program. And in these 5 cycles, ALCOSAN has offered awards of almost $45 million. If you take a look at this chart and you take out cycle 3, because that was a bit of an outlier, you will see that the cycles, cycle by cycle, the trend has been increasing for the GROW awards. And we expect that as we continue forward, that trend could continue. We started reimbursing in 2017, and through 2021, ALCOSAN has reimbursed our customer municipalities $8.6 million in these GROW grants. I would like to point out that in 2020 and 2021, during the pandemic, ALCOSAN has reimbursed the customer municipalities a little over $3.5 million. This was money that the municipalities absolutely need in this time. So where are we at financially right now? We have almost $45 million in commitments. We have paid out $8.6 million. We've also have uncommitted funds, meaning projects that may have been rescinded or projects that came in under budget of nearly $4 million. So right now, our outstanding commitments to the GROW program are a little over $32 million. I'd like to now talk about where we are with each of the project status. I've shared this slide with the Green Committee in previous meetings, and it was well received, so I figured I would share this with you. What you see on the screen are the 5 cycles, and each color represents a stage of that particular project. If a project is in gray, that means the project has been closed out. If a project is blue, they're in performance evaluation, meaning that they're done with construction, but now they have to assess how well the project was. Green is construction, yellow design, and red projects indicate that they were either declined by the municipality or the municipality had to rescind the award. So we have 42 projects that have been closed out, 17 are in performance evaluation, 26 under construction right now, 38 projects are in design, and 14 projects were rescinded. And one thing that I would like to note is that as you start with cycle 1, you see a lot of closed out projects. As time goes on, we anticipate that all these projects will start to get closed out. We're looking forward to the day when cycle 1 is fully closed out and we can continue moving on. Lessons learned. Arletta tasked the GROW team to identify 3 game-changing projects. These projects we would consider to be exemplary projects. And because of the nature of these projects, they changed the program. And through that change, they help with the region on future source control programs or projects. The first one I would like to talk about is Ravine Street. Ravine Street is in the borough of Sharpsburg, and let me pull out my highlighter here. There's a stream inflow coming down Ravine Street and entering into a combined sewer through the borough of Sharpsburg, going to ALCOSAN diversion structure A69. There's also storm drainage coming down from PennDOT's Route 28 that is tied into the combined sewer going to A70. The stream and the highway drainage are contributing greatly to the overflow problem. And the stream inflow contributes a lot of debris that is an operational issue in our interceptor. So removing that stream, removing the flow from the highway is a good idea. What you see on the screen right now is a schematic of what the Ravine Street project is going to be. The first thing that they're going to do is they're going to separate out the sewers in the combined part of Sharpsburg in this area and redirect it to the A70 trunk sewer. Next, they're going to build a storm sewer along 7th and Main Street in Sharpsburg to start collecting storm flow. They will convert the old combined sewer that now has no sanitary sewage in it into a storm sewer. So now you have the stream going all the way to the river without going through a combined sewer. And then finally, taking the drainage from the PennDOT storm line and redirecting it to the storm line and getting it out to the river. All in all, we're estimating that the overflow reduction for this project alone is over 18 million gallons in a year. We believe that maybe it could be more. We will be monitoring this project as it moves forward, and it is currently under construction. What did we learn about this project? The first major thing we learned about this project was it was in cycle 1, and we had a $1 million funding cap at the time. Once we started to realize that $1 million funding cap may not be enough, the Green Committee agreed that we should raise the cap to start enticing larger scale projects. We did that one more time in cycle 5 when we went from $2 million to $10 million per project. And when we did that, Sharpsburg identified this project as the project that they would like to resubmit for the GROW application. And finally, a great thing about this project was it engages stakeholders. This was a multi-municipal and multi-agency project where we had PennDOT, ALCOSAN, Sharpsburg, Shaler, and O'Hara working together to get a project, a very impactful project for the ALCOSAN and the municipalities. And we also learned stream inflows are the best return on your investment. Next game changer is not one project, it's several projects in the borough of Aspinwall. The borough of Aspinwall has 4 CSOs, A75, 76, 77, and 78. They have 4 main trunk sewers coming to these CSOs along Western Avenue, Center Avenue, Eastern Avenue, and Brilliant Avenue. And this is roughly the drainage area of these sewer sheds. In cycle 1, Aspinwall applied for and received a GROW grant for a green street and a rain garden. It was a good project. It was a learning experience. At the same time, Aspinwall had identified that there was a PennDOT storm sewer along Freeport Road going out to the river. Working off of that, Aspinwall applied for and received a GROW grant for the Eastern Avenue sewer separation, where they simply put in a new storm sewer along Eastern Avenue. We helped them monitor it, and it showed that it was very impactful. So they repeated the process in cycle 3 with the Center Avenue sewer separation. They took a year off, and in cycle 5, applied for and received a grant for the Western Avenue sewer separation project. So in 3 projects, Aspinwall has been able to remove a lot of flow from their system, and the overflow reduction is about 11.5 million gallons. And what did we learn? Again, it's collaboration, collaborating with our municipality, collaborating with their engineer to start to identify good source control projects. And this collaboration informed how we put together controlling the source. Also, these are methodical projects. They didn't throw all these projects together all at once. They did it year by year, growing, no pun intended, off of each other's projects. For 11.5 million gallons, the projects cost $2 million. So this is a very, very good return on investment. It's less than 20 cents an overflow gallon. And one last thing, I didn't want to leave this off, is that we have one more project in Aspinwall. We've been able to work with the Army Corps of Engineers to work on the Delafield Stream Inflow Project, where we're working with Fox Chapel, O'Hara, Aspinwall, the Corps of Engineers to remove the stream from the sewer system and have a major impact on the overflows in Aspinwall. Finally, the third project in the city of Pittsburgh, Whiteman Park. Now, I don't have fancy slides for this one. I'm going to have to verbally explain what's going on here. But Whiteman Park was a project that was brought to ALCOSAN in our first cycle. And in our first cycle, the projects were allowed to be conceptual. So in cycle one, PWSA came to us with this area, what they call phase one, which is Whiteman Park, and phase two, the area immediately surrounding Whiteman Park. And in those two phases, there was not a lot of detail, but there was enough detail for us to do the analysis and provide an award. And we awarded a 31% match for $368,000 on a $1.2 million project. And we knew that there was going to be another phase. It took a little while, but the city of Pittsburgh, PWSA, started building Whiteman Park. And in cycle 5, PWSA came to us and said, we'd like to put in for a letter of interest for phase 3. At this time, they had a lot of information. They had fully fleshed out designs. They had a lot of information that they were able to provide to us. Geotechnical reports, modeling summaries, flow monitoring. The green infrastructure project now was, we had more information from this project than any other project we've had in the past. And when they came to us asking, we want to submit for phase 3, we made the recommendation to them to repackage 1, 2, and 3 together, because now we have a better idea as to what this project is about. And by doing the full analysis, we'd be able to give PWSA a fairer match than just the 31% match. We all believed on the GROW team that this was a much better project than what we saw in cycle 1. During this analysis, we also realized that the city of Pittsburgh did some site work that was GROW eligible. So when we provided the 85% maximum award to PWSA, we also identified the costs that the city of Pittsburgh put into this that were eligible and offered them a similar match of 85% for those costs. This project is a highly impactful green infrastructure project, and it's a community amenity. It's a beautiful place to visit, and this is a game-changing project. The cost of 7.5 million gallons of overflow reduction for the cost of about $3.5 million. This is very good for a green infrastructure project, and we are looking for projects very much like this. Turn my laser pointer off. Moving forward. We are currently in cycle 6 of the GROW process. We have 29 projects this cycle that we have received information on. We have gone through these 29 projects, and the first week of May, we are going to be sending out invitation letters to these projects that we feel meet the objectives of the GROW program. These 29 projects, when you total all the estimated project costs, are over $56 million. 3 highlights of those projects are going to be M42, which is Streets Run in the South Hills, Baldwin Borough, PWSA, Whitehall Borough, Brentwood Borough, and West Mifflin Sanitary Sewer Municipal Authority working together in a collaboration to address I&I flows in the entire sewer shed in key areas that were identified by ALCOSAN. Working with the municipalities, we package these areas together to try to maximize the investment that ALCOSAN can make into the municipalities, at the same time address issues for regionalization so that some of these sewers can get turned back over to ALCOSAN. Southside Park is a multi-agency project working with city parks, PWSA, city planning, to put together a very large green infrastructure project that has the potential to bring in flows from the south side slopes if they decide to separate those sewers also. And finally, 4 Mile Run. 4 Mile Run is the largest project we've seen so far. It's a large-scale green infrastructure, stream inflow, separation, sewer separation. It hits so many different types of projects. This has been a project that we've been working with PWSA for several years now. We've seen the various versions of this project. The version that they're moving forward with now is what they've provided to us, and we're looking forward to seeing where this goes. With that, if there are any questions or comments, I'd be happy to answer them.
All right, thank you.
Tim,
Oh,
I
sorry.
have a comment. Tim, I just wanted to say thank you for this presentation. I think when we originally voted to raise the amount that the projects could apply for, this is exactly what we had in mind. You know, projects that would be impactful on a large scale that, you know, really just couldn't be done without the type of innovative, groundbreaking, partnership evoking projects that ALCOSAN is doing. So I really appreciate the work that you guys are doing. And I'm looking forward to seeing the 4 Mile and the other projects that you mentioned.
Thank you, Dr. Gilliam.
Right, thank you. Thank you, Tim. Obviously, there's a lot of great projects and a lot of good money being spent on green infrastructure around the region throughout the state. Thank you. We will now go to D and an operation cost of revenue reports, exhibit B. I'll pass it off to Karen.
Good afternoon, everyone. If you look at your exhibit B, you can see that this is through March 31st. We have so far expired a quarter of the year through 3 months in. As of that date, we had spent about 21% of our budgeted expenditures, and we had received a little over 25% of our budgeted revenue. So we are operating in a very much a sound manner. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to take them.
Good to hear. Seeing no questions, we will go to item E, a report of action by the executive director and approval of construction change orders less than $30,000. Number 1 is the OMI building facade repair to Caliber contract or construction. And then item 2 is the CIPP rehabilitation for portions of Sawmill Run. Director.
Mr. Chairman, I'm pleased to report that we have two change orders that are credits. One is much more substantial than the other, but anytime you get to the conclusion of a project, you are wrapping up those final items, and that is the best way to categorize both of these. More specifically with the second project, which is for the Sawmill Run and Allegheny River interceptors. There were quantities of projected need that just did not materialize. So always good to have a credit, certainly one as substantial as this.
It is. Thank you. That takes us to our action items. A and B, I need a motion to approve the minutes as well as the invoices.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Takes us to item C, following contracts. We have 4 contracts for the East Headworks and then one later. Do you want to do all four at once or one at a time, Director?
I will just step through each one briefly,
Okay.
Chairman. So
Okay. You want me to read them or you?
that will not be necessary.
Okay.
As you indicated, the first four are for the East Head Works, which is a project that has been a long time coming, highly anticipated. Each of these components, because it is a multi-pronged project, each component came in well under our engineer's estimate. And we have familiarity with each of the firms. So certainly recommend award, and did have good participation on each. The fifth contract for hydrochloric acid. How about that? Let's stay in the right lane here. Only one bidder. There was a potential for 5 different companies to bid. It is always part of our process to, kind of shake the bushes to find out what's going on. Not having received more than one response, and there were a variety of reasons. One company indicated they just did not believe that they could supply the volume that we needed. Another company, their response was, we just don't offer that anymore. Yet another, they didn't believe they could be competitive with pricing. There is a cost that goes into preparing a bid. Certainly respect each of their individual reasons. This price, as you can see on the exhibit, is a little lower than what we were already paying, and it is the same vendor we have been using. So we're comfortable with it, even though there's only a single bidder.
All right, thank you. Are there any questions? The exhibits in your packet are E, F, G, H, and I. Seeing or hearing no questions, can we have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Mine, which I'm probably not. I said,
All in favor? Aye.
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 Okay, going to our next 3 items. There was a professional services committee held for items D, E, and F. We will begin with D, a professional consulting contract. This is for JMT Engineering Consulting Services for amount of $208,000 for capital program S469, the rehab of the Monongahela Interceptor.
Mr. Chairman, this is the follow-up to the award that you made to JMT last month, and the results of our negotiations. Well done by Jan and her team. We recommend that you move forward.
Thank you. I need a motion and a second.
Yes.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay, item E, service authorization for WRA for East Head Works. We discussed that project earlier in an amount of $2.5 million. Director?
Mr. Chairman, reminder for the board that we retain the design consultant to do just that, design the project. Once we get to the point of construction, we further retain them, or I should say, should I say, as it says, modify. We modify their agreement to keep them during the construction phase because it is wise to continue to have access to those who designed and understand what is supposed to be implemented. That is the nature of this modification.
All right, thank you. I need a motion and a second.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that takes us to item G, motion to adopt resolution 2021-0401 to approve the amended pre-treatment regulations and the enforcement response plan.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to back you up just one. We're going to go back to modification of service authorization 274-2 for GAI.
Oh, I'm sorry. I crossed that one out. Sorry. Okay, sorry. So
I'm
item
and
F. So they, just so you know, if you go to Central, they don't really teach you the alphabet. So you just are kind of like figuring it out as you go. So motion for service authorization 274-2 GAI Consultants to provide engineering services for the required annual sewage sludge at roughly $88,000.
Mr. Chairman, you said a mouthful there. That you went back to it. I appreciate you being so gracious. Please, board, approve it.
So I need a motion and a second. Second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Okay, now we can go to G, which I had read prior, so I'll pass it off to the director.
Mr. Chairman, we have a need to update our pretreatment regulations every so often. There are a variety of factors that require it, but it's also good practice. The last time the board took this action was in 2010. So not only are there changes to the regulations, and this is how we deal with our industrial and commercial customers, not only are there changes to the regs, and for the most part, they're minor, but there's also an enforcement response plan that goes along with it. I have to continually remind myself that it's not an emergency response plan. It's a different E, enforcement response. It is, to a certain extent, a housekeeping issue that, again, is required periodically. Ask you to approve.
All right, thank you. I need a motion and a second.
Second.
I think everybody else is on mute.
So moved.
Second, all right, so all in favor, aye.
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 Okay, takes us to item H, motion to adopt resolution 2021-04-02, executive director to enter into an amended license agreement with Norfolk Southern Railroad for work within their non-operated right-of-way at the north end of the plant expansion.
Yeah, what you said.
All right, I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second then.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
last item. Motion to accept proposal as recommended by authorities risk management to provide insurance coverage to ALCOSAN for the dates of May 16th, 2021 to May 16th, 2022. Total premium 1.5 million per the attachment, see Exhibit J.
Mr. Chairman, I so appreciate you simply saying 1.5 because I have inadvertently thrown some numbers in there that are inaccurate. So the actual figure should be $1,516,079. That's the actual number. We have Mark McCall from TJS, who is our risk management consultant, who is available to speak to where we are with what's proposed today, which I must say, in my humble engineering estimation, this is a great response in a very difficult time period. Mark?
Great. Thank you, Arletta. And Mr. Chairman, members of the board, thank you. It was in 2020, there was a mass marketing of the insurance program and with major changes with all the insurance carriers. And we committed to a 3-year program, assuming the insurance carriers and the brokers that were engaged would continue with expectations. We're very pleased that this year, overall 3.3% increase over expiring. All terms and conditions remain stable. and the program for the betterment of ALCOSAN that was put in place last year. We are in the second year of a 3-year program, is intact and good to go. And I would also like to throw a thank you to Karen, taking over Bill Ink's spot, did a fantastic job just providing a lot of the information. And also Lisa Cortazzo who has been instrumental in the risk management program. And, this will be the last year with Lisa with her retirement impending, but just a great group to work with, and really appreciate the opportunity to do so. And also with the new team as well. So thank you, Arletta.
Can we have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All right, that concludes our meeting. I will say, and I should have mentioned this earlier, we did a number of big contracts today. And as we're just even talking about the insurance coverage, it goes to credit to not only our director, but her staff and everybody at ALCOSAN, the amount of money that we have saved on a number of these projects should not be overlooked. And I think, now that we see, this is a major project that we're all going under, not just East Headworks, everything in the region, and the job that they've done, it would actually be interesting to calculate how much they have saved us over the years. So credit to everybody. I think that's well deserved, and thank you for all your hard work. So with that, our next
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, yes,
Mr.
Representative, great to hear from you.
Thank you. I would just like to request that the record show that I was present today. I was having some trouble with my iPhone, but I finally got things organized. So if you would please mark me present for today's meeting.
We will definitely mark you present, and it's great to hear from you.
Good to hear from you.
Everybody here is so happy that we got to hear from you today, and I'm sure we'll talk to you offline as well. But great to hear from you, and you're a welcome voice at these meetings, because you've been here for a very long time, and you're an important role at ALCOSAN and to the region as well. So thank you very much.
If I could say something, when Harry was chairing these meetings, we were already on our second drink. You know what I mean?
That's, I knew that was coming. Just so there's a Reed Shaw record that I have been trying to break.
Never do it.
And I will tell you, I think I set an O'Connor record for the longest meeting, so I'm in a lot of trouble with that.
Thank you all for all your best wishes too. This is well, not to dwell on it, but I'll beat this thing. So thank you all very much.
You will.
Okay, Harry.
I know.
You were a fighter throughout your career, all your services. So we are with you, and we definitely know you will beat this. So thank you very much. Pleasant ending to today's meeting.
Yes,
We're praying for you, Harry.
Yep.
we are.
We will see everybody May 20th.